The courtroom was quiet. The judge sat tall in his chair, flipping through papers. A mother stood before him, worried, waiting. The charge? Parking on a sidewalk. The fine? $300. But today, something unusual was about to happen. The judge glanced at the little girl sitting beside her mother. He smiled. "You," he said, pointing playfully, "come up here." The little girl's eyes widened. "Me?" "Yes, you." A moment of hesitation, then cautiously she stepped forward. The wooden floor creaked under her tiny footsteps. She reached the judge's bench, looking up at him with big, curious eyes. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Janine," she whispered. "Janine, that's a beautiful name. And how old are you?" 6. 6 years old? Wow. The judge leaned in, lowering his voice as if sharing a secret. "Tell me, do you go to school?" She nodded. "What's your favorite subject?" A pause. Then, with a shy smile, she said, "Math." "Math, that's a great choice. You must be really smart." The little girl beamed. The entire courtroom softened. "Well, Janine," the judge said, sitting back, "I have a very important job for you today. Would you like to be a judge?" Janine's mouth fell open. "Me? A judge?" "For just 5 minutes," he said with a wink. "Do you think you can help me?" She nodded eagerly. "All right," the judge continued. "Your mom is in a bit of trouble. She parked on a sidewalk, and that comes with a fine. Originally, it was $100, but because she didn't pay it on time, there are penalties. Now it's $300. Before we decide what to do, let's hear her side of the story." Janine turned to her mother, listening intently. "Well," her mom began, "I went to my cousin's house to pick something up. There was a big party on the street, and there wasn't anywhere to park. I didn't want my car to get hit, so I parked on the sidewalk for just a few minutes. But when I came outside, the police were already there." The judge nodded. "So you were at the party?" "Yes." "And you couldn't move your car because the police were outside?" "Yes." Janine's small fingers gripped the bench. She was thinking. "Now," the judge said, turning back to her, "it's time to make a decision." Janine straightened her shoulders. "We have 4 choices," the judge explained. 1, we charge her the full $300. 2, we remove the penalties, and she pays just $100. 3, we give her a break and lower it to $50. Or 4, we let her go without any fine at all. He leaned in. "What do you think is fair?" The courtroom held its breath. Janine's little brows furrowed. She was deep in thought. The weight of the decision sat on her tiny shoulders. Then, slowly, she looked up. $50, she said firmly. The judge smiled. "Are you sure?" "Not $100? She shook her head. "Not 0? "No." "All right," the judge said. "That's a fair decision. But before I finalize it, let me ask you something. Who came with you today?" "My mom, my sister, and my uncle." "Okay, now tell me, what did you have for breakfast?" Janine hesitated. "I didn't have anything this morning." Silence. The judge's face changed. He leaned back, thinking. "How about this?" he finally said. "If your mom promises to buy you breakfast as soon as you leave here, I'll dismiss the fine completely. Deal?" Janine's eyes sparkled. "Breakfast?" "Breakfast," the judge repeated with a wink. She turned to her mom. Her mom smiled and nodded. "Deal," Janine said. The courtroom erupted into laughter and applause. The judge banged his gavel. "Case dismissed." This wasn't just about a parking fine. It was about kindness, about fairness, about a judge who saw more than just rules. He saw people. And a 6-year-old girl, in just a few minutes, reminded everyone in that courtroom what true justice looks like. What do you think? Did Judge Janine make the right call? Let us know in the comments below. And if this story warmed your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life moments that restore faith in humanity.